Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
I'm Mr. Magazine.
Today we want to talk to you about getting information and being careful who you get it from. And I don't mean necessarily you're getting bad information. I mean, there are a lot of negative people out there, and they will bring you down. And if you've ever gone to Reddit, there are times when Reddit can be very, very helpful. One of the bigger problems with Reddit, do you go to Reddit, Mr. Magazine?
I do not, but I do hear it from you.
One of the bigger problems with Reddit is that in some areas it trends young. And you get into the Reddit for whatnot, or the Reddit for eBay, and the Reddit for flipping, and the Reddit for, and the Reddit for. And some of these people, let's say the word is not their bond, and they don't necessarily follow through on things, or, do the right thing a lot of times. Another site that is invaluable, but you have to be very, very careful when reading it, is E-commerce Bites. And I printed out a tome over here about somebody or other that had some problems. Basically, a gentleman had sent a package out, and it had gotten there, but the buyer claimed it hadn't, and this happened, that happened. I believe eBay ended up refunding the money is what ended up happening, and so the guy was out the product and the item. And you've had that happen to you. I know I've had that happen to me. Things happen from time to time. When you go over to E-commerce Bites and you go down into the comment area, everybody there, not everybody, but 90% of the people there are always on an anti-eBay thing. Call it Feebay, the eBay Mafia, the this, the that. Every single thing is eBay trying to nickel and dime you, eBay stealing from you, eBay this, eBay that, eBay this. And it doesn't get any better when they're talking about Amazon or any other site either.
And they're still using eBay, though.
That's the crazy thing about it. They've set up all of these things over here. And my question is, and we've done videos about this in the past, and I know you used to hate when I say this, Mr. Magazine, but I think you've embraced it finally.
Mm-hmm.
Cost of doing business.
Yes, exactly.
And what is that, Mr. Magazine?
Well, it's like anything else. If I buy a collection of 100 items, like say DVDs, this happens all the time, and I tell Aaron this, 100 DVDs, you're not going to go through every one of them. It takes time. 5 might be bootlegs, 5 boxes might be empty. So if I paid $1.50 per, now I paid $1.70. I look at it as the cost of doing business. Some things are going to cost you money. It's just part of the game. But in the grand scheme of things, at the end of the year, you're plus X amount of dollars, so all that doesn't matter.
Something gets lost in the mail, cost of doing business.
Yep.
Whatever. Somebody, I thought this was this, and you're looking at it, and you're like I had this happen to me, where it was a regular customer and an item didn't show up, and he was upset, but he was not upset with me. He was upset with the Postal Service and eBay. I just refunded his money. He's like, You shouldn't have done that. I'm like, I'm not going to put you through the paces and put in the tracking number, and then eBay's going to say it was delivered, and then you have to contact eBay, and then eventually they'll give you a refund out of the goodness of their heart because you're a long-time customer, and they'll believe, okay, fine, whatever. So I keep my money, and you get the money back. That's a lot of extra work. I'll just give you the $20 back.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you through that,
right?
Even though you're willing to do it. I don't want to put you through it because you're a regular customer.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been buying from me for years. It's $20. What's the big deal? That is
and
the
that's
cost
why they
of
keep
doing
coming
business.
back.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, he was a little upset with me for doing it, but not just that I lost out. He was upset about not that I did it that way. But so this person over here, a tracking number proves the buyer got a package, not that they got the item sold to them. eBay will claim the buyer actually returned the item, but you removed the label from the box. They slapped it on an envelope. There's never been any seller protection on eBay. Yada, yada, yada. So is eBay taking your money yet? No. Immediately get on the phone and have your bank block eBay from withdrawing any funds from your bank account. Pull all your items off eBay to prevent them taking funds from future sales. If you have a credit card as backup payment, have the credit card block eBay as well.
Oh, my God.
In the case of a credit card, you may need to have your credit card cancel the card as well as the account it's tied to the card. My backup form of payment is a virtual credit card tied to the actual credit card. I've blocked eBay on the virtual card. I've blocked eBay from taking any money from the bank account I use for eBay sales. This is not my main bank, but a free online banking account. All funds are immediately transferred to my main bank, which eBay has no information about. Worst case scenario, if eBay wants to get nasty, I pull all my items off eBay and cancel my existing sales so they can't force me into allowing them to steal my money.
Wow. Sounds like our friend in San Francisco. He gets bitter like that sometimes. But
how do you do business like that?
But and I don't know how big this seller is, but say he makes $25,000 to $50,000 a year. Now, for whatever this item was, say it's $100, you're going to throw all that away and not deal with eBay because of this one item. I mean, that's penny wise, pound foolish. I mean, it's foolish in general. It's crazy.
Contacting eBay will get you nothing but lies, hang-ups, phone tag, handing you off to a so-called supervisor who is just a person in another booth at their Indian call center, telling you that they will email you or call you in 24, 48, or 72 hours, and so on and so on. Never believe anything an eBay employee tells you. They are compulsive liars.
I mean, I gotta say I'm an above average seller with volume, and like we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of things that get damaged or missing or this and that or the no tracking, and then it gets or whatever. They are in our favor sometimes when it shows we delivered it. You know, they do it. If it shows an undelivered, like that one deal we're doing now, I'm gonna lose $500 on that. I think it's covered for $100 insurance. They said, sorry, we can't do anything about it because he didn't get it. But if the tracking shows that he got it, it's a different story. You know, and then sometimes if it gets lost coming back, they rule in our favor, and we don't have to we don't have to get refunded out of our account. So, you know, I have no complaints. I mean, it's at least 50-50. You know, they're ruling in my favor. So,
I guess number one, if you sit there and you are thinking about reselling whatever, and you go over to the site and you listen to the wrong people, it will absolutely scare you senseless, and you're never going to start reselling.
Is it a new eBayer or like say? Because
no,
I mean,
it's an existing eBay.
Because I'm saying, like, you know, when we were infants in eBay, 1-2 years in, maybe, you know, I was very bitter a lot of times. Stuff like that happened. Maybe 3 years in even or whatever. But you get used to it, and it is what it is, and you just have to accept it if you want to continue with eBay. And you know, that was my number one, you know, platform years ago. So I just took it on the chin. You know, what are you going to do?
But I guess the question is, all that time setting up virtual credit cards that are backed up with the bank accounts that are not, with this, with this, that's that, for a problem that may or may not ever happen. Yes, we want to be prepared. I do understand that. You know, you do get insurance on your house. You do, you know, there are things you do to be prepared. That seems like an awful lot of extra work for why? And it sounds like a lot of stress this person has as well.
Yeah.
Sounds like they have a lot of
anger.
Yeah. A lot of anger, probably in general. And that is no way to go through life.
Well, another thing, too, is, okay, love or hate eBay, they've been around 30-plus years. They're not out to scam people purposely. This is just their policy, and it works for them for whatever reason. They want to be pro-buyer because there's more buyers spending money than the sellers are making the money and the commissions, whatever. You know, just like when people want cards graded, can I trust you sending out this $100 card? It's like, they're a billion-dollar company that's been around for 30 years. I'm pretty sure they're not going to cheat your $100 card. Now, there might be a 1 in 1,000 or 10,000 chance that they may damage it taking it out, a little ding or something. Yeah, that could happen. But they're not purposely, wow, this is a 10, we're going to keep this one and give him an 8. You know, it's just, people always think negatively about things that they're not, you know, familiar with.
Yeah, no, that's actually very, very well put for once.
Thank you very much. Jeez. Couldn't wait to get there. You were waiting 30 years to say that.
Hold that one
on your tongue for 30 years.
But absolutely, don't go through life with that bitterness, that anger. And I guess my advice to the gentleman that wrote that novel: you go on Etsy, you go on Amazon, you go on Whatnot, you go on Poshmark, Mercari, Discogs. I can keep naming sites. Biblio. You are going to have the same problems.
Yeah.
Why? Sometimes it's a you issue. And every site has mechanisms set up to protect the buyer. And well, they have to. Because if they don't, if I go on the site and I buy something and it doesn't arrive and I can't get my money back, I'm not going on that site again.
Exactly.
That's just the way that it is.
Yep.
And if you tell me, yeah, buy this off my website, but I'm only going to take friends and family. Yeah. You have no protection at that point,
right,
and you don't get the item. If you come back a week later and you're buying from me again, that's on you for being foolish. The only exception I would make to that, now you shouldn't take friends and family regardless if it's not friends and family. The only exception would be if you've been dealing with the guy for 20 years and a $5 order doesn't come in. Okay, you've spent $20,000 and never had a problem and a $5 order doesn't come in. Well, hopefully he would still pay you the $5.
Yeah.
I would hope so at that point. But if not, all right, you're back the next week and whatever. But don't hold on to that anger. Be careful who you listen to. There's always going to be somebody out there that has a negative experience. And nowhere is this better seen than if you go on the various sites, what's the one that has the restaurants and all that? With all the people leave the reviews. You got
Yelp?
Google and Yelp and all those things. You sit there and you read, and then you'll read somebody or other that is just going completely crazy over something or other about it was the worst restaurant they've ever been to, and then you're reading it going, it was a Friday night. You showed up at the last minute for reservations at 8:15. You showed up 8:35. They were nice enough to seat you, and you didn't get your drinks right away. Yeah, I kind of understand that. So just kind of, we try to be positive, upbeat people. Bad things happen from time to time, and we will tell you those. But we try to put a little bit of a spin and a sense of humor on there. If somebody is always negative about everything, maybe they're always negative everywhere about everything. Try to avoid those kind of people if you can. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.